In 1453, a 21-year-old launched an offensive that would redraw the political map of the Mediterranean. His objective? A city considered impossible to take. For over 1,000 years, this fortress stood as a definitive shield. Dozens of armies had marched to its gates, and every single one had been broken by its perimeter. The secret to its survival was the Theodosian walls. This tiered system of stone and high towers formed a mathematically precise barrier that had neutralized every siege engine of the medieval world. In 1453, after surviving for more than 10 centuries, the city's defense would finally be broken in less than 8 weeks. This victory represented a massive shift in military history, rendering the traditional castle obsolete and forcing a change in how empires would defend themselves for centuries. The city was Constantinople, the capital of the Byzantine Empire. It was the last surviving remnant of the Roman world, defined by its Christian heritage and immense wealth. Its geography was its greatest asset. Constantinople sits on a triangular peninsula, protected by water, forcing attackers into a narrow land choke point. But by the 15th century, the expanding Ottoman Empire swallowed the surrounding land, leaving the city an isolated island in an Ottoman sea. When Mehmed II took the throne in 1451, he was already an expert in military strategy and history. He viewed the conquest of this city as his singular life mission. For Mehmed, capturing the city was a geopolitical necessity. A rival capital sitting at the center of his territory was a permanent threat that stopped the Ottoman state from expanding into a global power. Mehmed spent months analyzing the failures of the past. He realized that standard medieval tactics were insufficient against walls this thick. To breach the stone, he needed a scale of mechanical force that the world had never seen. He turned to a new application of technology, a custom-designed massive cannon specifically engineered to shatter the ancient Theodosian walls. For weeks, his artillery pounded the stone. The sheer destructive power of these machines turned the siege into a brutal war of attrition. However, the city had one more defense. This map shows the Golden Horn Harbor, which was blocked by a massive iron chain. This single obstacle kept Mehmed's navy completely out of the bay. Mehmed's entire campaign hit a literal wall at the harbor's edge. He needed a way to neutralize the chain without sailing through it. His solution was a logistical maneuver that seemed to defy physical logic. If he couldn't sail through the water, he would move his fleet over the land. Overnight, his soldiers constructed paths of oiled logs across the rugged terrain. They physically dragged dozens of warships out of the water and up into the mountains. This diagram shows the result. Moving overland, the Ottoman fleet bypassed the iron chain and dropped into the vulnerable harbor. This forced the Byzantines to fight on multiple fronts simultaneously. The overstretched defenders had to abandon land walls to protect the harbor. On May 29, 1453, the pressure became too great. The Ottoman forces broke the perimeter. The last Byzantine emperor died defending, and Constantinople fell. The arrival of the fleet in the harbor proved to be the decisive factor. This engineering success forced the city into a position it could no longer defend, proving that superior logistics were as deadly as any cannon. The capture of the city brought a permanent end to the 1,000-year history of the Byzantine Empire. Mehmed quickly transformed the city into his new capital, Istanbul. The iconic Hagia Sophia was converted, and the city became the center of a new Islamic architectural identity. This new capital allowed the Ottoman Empire to control the most vital trade routes in the world, establishing it as an undisputed global superpower. By achieving the impossible, the young Sultan earned the title that would define him for the rest of history, Mehmed the Conqueror. On the broader timeline of human history, this event serves as the boundary line where the Middle Ages ended and the modern geopolitical world began. The fall of the city proved that even 1,000 years of fortification can be overcome by a strategy that ignores the physical limits of traditional warfare.